If you don't like boring news but still crave the truth, then dive into The Robert and Crew Show. From mind-bending conspiracy theories to wild weather phenomena, we've got it all. Ever wondered what's really happening in your hometown, or what secrets the global news isn't telling you? We dig deep into the core of every story, unraveling the mysteries one podcast at a time. Join Robert and the crew as we navigate this vibrant, ever-changing cyberpunk landscape, bringing you interviews with the most intriguing minds out there. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, a news junkie or a weather enthusiast, there's something here for you. So strap in, listeners, because we're about to take you on a ride through the neon-lit alleys of truth and intrigue. This is the Robert and Crew Show, where the future meets the fantastic.
Welcome back, guys, to the Crew Show. As always, I'm Robert.
And I'm Crew. Which I gotta fix my name.
How are you doing?
Give me a second, I gotta fix my name because I just realized it's my eFed name on there.
Brother? How have you been tonight?
Good.
Good. Good. So I take it you were doing some EFF?
Yesterday. Yeah, I had results yesterday. And I was gonna, or no, not yesterday. Yesterday. Yesterday was Monday. I was gonna invite you, but Derek, the one who runs the stream for the results, he was like, we already got certain guests on, so. But it was good. Hello, Julie.
Hey, Julie.
Julie was getting frantic, wondering if we were going live or not, because it is April Fool's, and I did tell her we were going live, and if we did it, I was gonna be like April Fool's, but no. Today has been stressful a little bit because whose birthday it is today.
Yeah, I feel it. It's been stressful for me too, and my wife. So we've been going through it, and I totally get it. There's a lot of stuff that's going on right now. I feel like the world's in a spot where just everything is clashing. You've got two sides. You have two different sides of people right now fighting each other for no reason, and it's irritating because is it political? But I feel like it's also friends and families going head to head about just bull happening in their lives constantly. I'm doing all right, Julie, but I've been going through it. We lost two really good friends, and it sucks. And like they're not dead or anything, but like it's just a crappy situation. So that's just what I'm going through. It's just a little irritating. When people aren't communicative with you, it is the worst in the entire world. I hate it when people don't communicate their feelings. If you can't sit there and be 100 with me, if you can't just call me and then call me out on my bullshit directly to me, then you're not my friend. You're not my family, and you don't love me. That's how it is. And I'm going to block you. I'm not going to talk to you anymore. I'm probably going to want nothing to do with you. Same thing goes for that I find out that's actually using me. I'm sorry, Julie, that you had a death today. It's legit Val Kilmer who played Top Gun in Willow. Yeah, that's.
Oh
that's
yeah,
sad.
Val Kilmer died today. He played Batman in the third
he
one.
Actually died. That's a Fool's joke.
I think I don't know if he did. I don't know, but I saw that, and I'm like, oh shit. Hopefully it's real. I mean, did you hear what happened to McFoley today?
probably look that up to figure out if that's real. Since we did
Well,
just announce that on stream.
also, did you hear what happened to McFoley today?
What happened to McFoley?
He had a car accident. His whole car was totaled.
Is he okay?
Yeah, he's fine.
That's
There was
good.
a post and everything that Julie shared in the CEWOC chat, and I was like, oh shit. And she's like,
That's
it's real. I was like, oh
that's that's crazy.
yeah.
That sucks. Oh, Julie says it is legit. Val Kilmer did die.
Oh, and
Crazy.
Julie, I do feel you about the death. Today would be my grandfather's birthday, but he passed away back in 2021 of April.
Oh, it's grandpa's birthday.
Yeah, today's his birthday, but he passed away
God,
the 19th of April.
God bless
May he rest
grandpa.
in peace. Yeah.
Let's so right now I'm dedicating this episode of the Robert and Cruz show to Cruz grandfather. This episode's for you, Grandpa. Happy birthday. Tonight we are giants. Everybody. And I know people like the subject of giants. That has requested it. And I know that some other people, back when we first did our episode on giants, actually enjoyed that episode. So, what do you know about giants, crew?
I know that they've been around for a very long time in the old days. We have some remnants of giants still, but they're not as what they used to be back in the old days, like they were in the Old Testament.
Yeah.
They were also the offspring of the Nephilim.
Okay. Yeah. So, regarding the Bible, I actually have every verse where giants are mentioned. Legitimately, every single verse where giants are mentioned, and I've been reading them. And so basically, it starts in this. We have the Nephilim were on Earth. Those the Nephilim were on Earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God come into the daughters of man, and they bore children to them. These were the mighty men who were of old, men of renown. First mention of giants, the Nephilim, often interpreted as offspring of the sons of gods, possibly angels, and human women existing before and after the flood. And we have Numbers 13:32-33. So they brought to the people of Israel a bad report of the land, and they had spied out, saying, the land through which we have gone to spy it out is a land that devours its inhabitants, and all of the people that we saw in it are of great height. And there we saw the Nephilim, the sons of the Anunnaki, who come from the Nephilim, and we seemed ourselves like hoppers, and so we seemed to them. The spies sent by Moses report seeing giants, specifically the Anakim descendants linked to the Nephilim in Canaan. And then we have Deuteronomy, which Deuteronomy 1:28. Where are we going up? Our brothers have made hearts, saying, the people are greater and taller than we. The cities are great and fortified up to heaven. And besides, we have seen the sons of the Anakim here. The Israelites recall the fear facing the tall Anakim in the promise. And then we have Deuteronomy 2:10-11. The Emin formerly lived there, a people great and many, and tall as the Anakim. Like the Anakim, they are also counted as the Raphim. The Moabites call them Aim. The Eam, another giant-like people, are compared to Anakim and identified as Rephaim. In Deuteronomy 2:20-21, it's also counted and Raphim. Raphim formerly lived there, but the Ammonites call them Zamzumim, a people great and many, and tall as the Anakim. But the Lord destroyed them before the Ammonites, and they disposed them and settled in their place. The Zamzumzim, or Zamzumim, another group of giants, Raphim, were raised by the Ammonites with God's help. So, like, giants are mentioned in so much in the Bible. Deuteronomy 9:2. A people great and tall, the sons of Anakim, who you know and whom you have heard, it said, who can stand before the sons of Ankh. The Anakim are described as formidable giants causing fear among the Israelites. Then we have Joshua 11:21-22. And Joshua came at that time and cut off the Anakim from the hill country, from the Hebron, from the Beer, from Anab, and from the hill country of Judah and Israel. Joshua divided them to destruction with their cities. There was none of the Anakim left in the land of the people Israel, only in Gaza and Gath and Ashdod did some remain. Joshua destroys most of the Anakim, though some survive in Philistine cities like Gath, later home Joshua and king of Bashan, one of the remnant of Raphim, who lived Ashtaroth at Edrei. Og is again identified as a Raphim giant. And then you have Joshua 13:12. All the Og and Bashan who reside in Ashtaroth and Edrei, he alone was left the remnant of Raphim. These Moses had stuck and driven out. Reiterates Og as the theme in that region. I didn't know Moses chased out the giants. Did you know that? That Moses chased out the last of the Rahim?
I did not know that part. I forgot. If I did, I probably forgot. You gotta realize, I've read the Bible so many times, and there's a lot of things I forgot that happened in the Bible. So I'm gonna have to go relook
This
at
is what
that.
it says. Joshua 13:12. All the kingdom of Og and Bashan, who resigned in Ashtaroth and Edrei, he alone was left of the remnant of the Raphim. These Moses had struck and driven out.
Huh.
It reiterates Og as the last of the Raphim in that region. It says Moses drove them out. That's crazy. You learn something new every day. I didn't know Moses had anything to do with that. So then you have Joshua 14:12. It says, "So now give me this hill country which the Lord spoke on that day, for you heard on it how the Anakim were there, with great fortified cities. It may be that the Lord will be with me, and I shall drive them out, just as the Lord said." Caleb requests land inhabited by the Anakim, confident in God's help. And then you have Joshua 14:15. Now the name of the Hebron formerly was Kirath Arba. Kirath Arba. It was the greatest man among the Anakim. The land had rest from war. Kirath Arba, or Hebron, is linked to a prominent Anakim giant figure, Arba. And then you have Joshua 15:13-14, which is according to the commandment of the Lord to Joshua, he gave to Caleb, son of Jephunneh, a portion among the people of Judah, Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron. Arba was the father of an Anak. And Caleb drove out from there lives 3 sons of Anunnaki, Shisha and Ahim and Talmai, the descendants of the Anunnaki. Caleb defeats 3 named Anakim giants. Holy shit.
Yep.
That's Joshua 13:14. And then Joshua 7:15 says, "And Joshua said to them, if you are a numerous people, go up by yourselves to the forest, and there clear ground for yourselves, in the land of the Perizzites and the Raphim, since the hill country of Ephraim is too narrow. The land of Raphim is mentioned as a place for their settlement." Judges 1:20. And Hebron was given to Caleb as Moses had said, and he drove out from in the 3 sons of Anak. Reconfirms that Caleb's victory over the Anakim. And then in Samuel, and there came out, or this is Samuel 17:14 or 17:47, came out from camp of the Philistines a champion named Goliath, of Gath, whose height was 6 cubits in span, and he had the helmet of bronze on his head. And he was armed with a coat of mail, and the weight of the coat was 5,000 shekels of bronze. And he had bronze armor on his leg, and javelin of bronze slung between his shoulders. The shaft of his spear was like weaver's beam, and its head weighed 600 shekels of iron. And his shield bearer went before him. Goliath, a giant from Gath, about 9 feet 9 inches tall, is the most famous giant in the Bible. Samuel 2:21-16. And Ishbi Benob, one of the descendants of the giants, whose weighed 300 shekels of bronze, and who was armed with a new sword, thought to kill David. A giant descendant of the Raphim threatens David. 2 Samuel 21:18. After this, there was war with the Philistines at Gob. Sibbecai Hushathite struck down Saph, who was one of the descendants of giants. Another giant, Saph, is killed. 2 2020. And there was again a war at Gath, where there was a man of great stature who had 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each foot, 24 digits in number, and he also was a descendant from the giants. A polydactyl giant from Gath is mentioned. 2 Samuel 21:2. 4 were descended from giants in Gath, and they fell by the hand of David and by the hand of his servants. It summarizes the defeat of 4 giants from Gath, likely Raphaim descendants. Of Chronicles 20:40. And after there arose war with the Philistines in Gezer, and Sibbecai, the Hushathite, struck down Sippai, who was one of the descendants of giants, and the Philistines were subdued. Sippai, a giant, is killed. Parallel 2 Samuel 21:18. 1 Chronicles 26:20 and then 6. And there was again where there was a man of great stature who fingers on each hand, 6 toes on each foot, 24 in number. He was also descended from a giant. So it's another giant was mentioned. Chronicles 28 or 20 and then 8. These were descended from giants in Gath, and they fell by the hand of David and by the hand of his servants. And then Amos 2:9. Yet it was also destroyed by it before them, whose height was like the height of the cedars, who was strong as the oaks. I destroyed his fruit above his roots beneath. The Amorites are described with giant-like stature, although not explicitly called giants. And then terminology that's used: Nephilim and Anunnaki, Genesis 6:4, Numbers 13:33, means the fallen ones or giants in Hebrew. Raphim, Deuteronomy, and Joshua is another term for giants, often linked to specific tribes like the Anakim, also known as the Anunnaki. Or Zamzumim, also another departure from the Anakim. And Deuteronomy are descendants of Anak, a giant figure. And then giants often symbolize the opposition to God's people, defeated through faith and divine power. For example, David versus Goliath and Caleb versus Anakim. Apocryphal texts, books like Enoch, Jubilees expand on giants, but they are not biblically correct. This list covers a direct reference on giants to the Old Testament, although we leave out the book of Enoch. The book of Enoch is not explicitly thorough, and some believe it's incorrect. Jude 1:6, fallen angels to the Nephilim narrative. Let me know. And that's it. So basically, it talks about the Nephilim a lot in Genesis, Numbers, Deuteronomy, and Joshua, and Samuel, and Chronicles, and Amos.
Yep.
So I don't know a ton about like the Bible giants, but I didn't know that Anakim meant Anunnaki. Like that's really
Hmm.
cool. So the Bible does talk about the Anunnaki then, which
Oh yeah.
which a lot of people don't lead on to actually say that the Bible mentions the Anunnaki. But the Bible does distinctively mention what the Nephilim, who are direct descendants of the Anunnaki
Hmm.
or the Anakim, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
So when you were learning and you were going through through the phase in your life where you were doing all your research about giants and giant people, what are some
Hmm.
of the craziest things you've heard around the world? And not just
Well,
Bible class.
okay, so I'm not gonna go Bible reference here real quick. Well, kind of, but not. Um, the Solomon Islands
The
are known
Solomon
to have are known to have giants on them. Now, it's apparently giants have been seen on the island. They have like red, long hair and beards.
Oh
Um,
yeah, the I've heard about them. That was
mhm,
the giant from Kandahar, man. Remember that story I told you forever ago about the secret war mission in Iraq and Afghanistan? I actually believe it was Afghanistan that this
mhm,
happened. It happened in the mountains of Kandahar, and it was a ranger group of I believe they were Army Rangers, but they were scaling this mountainside when they found a cave, and it's a pretty big opening, and they saw human bones like scattered all about, and
mm,
one of the guys started to freak out because he saw something like coming out of the cave, and
right.
supposedly the United States military allegedly, because I can't freaking prove it, but apparently it's like it's a well-known story, but apparently the military got into a firefight with a giant headed giant, okay, huge giant that apparently smelled horrible. He had crazy red hair, he had a giant red beard, he had a huge spear, which by he impaled one of the United States military members in front of the entire team, which was
Mm,
when the entire team lost their shit and just started firing upon the giant. And they said that
right.
it took over 100 rounds of ammunition to drop him. He was taking bullets and nothing was happening. Like he wasn't falling, he wasn't hurting, nothing was affecting him. They this was 300 rounds to the head. That is what they talk about. And they were just popping him rounds to the head. And we're talking automatic weapons. We're not talking like semi-automatic tiny weapons. We're talking about pretty big weapons that the United States military gets to carry around. So in
Yeah.
order for men to take that much damage and not fall, um, you are not from this. You are not from this world. I know what I say about it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Silent have red hair. That's what that reminded me of.
I
So
right,
these
and
are they the
I
size
also
of the giant of Kandahar? Are they over 8 feet
yeah,
tall? Yeah.
you're right. But from my also from what I've researched, right, and I saw this on TikTok, and I never knew this. So like I'm gonna use Egyptian real quick. You know those tall, like deity looking like things with like animal looking heads.
Yeah, there's the Sphinx, and then you have statues of gods, and then you have, I mean, like, so the Sphinx is the biggest one. That's the pharaoh that's has its head on top of the cat, and then have like the different statues of the different ancient Egyptian gods. So you have
Mhm.
Anubis, Jekyll. You have there. I know that they have a hippo god. They have an alligator god. They have bird gods, Osiris, and Ra. And, they have cat gods. Bastet is a cat god. So I mean, it depends on what you're talking. But yes, I know that they have deities that have
So
animal heads.
the Anunnaki slept with animals and created those gods.
Supposedly, but
Supposedly, yeah.
at the same time though, those could have been ancient alien travelers. They could have been from
True.
other planets, in my opinion. Or
Yeah.
they could have been the inner Earth or the outer lands or whatever you want to call it. But those gods, I mean, there's a lot of people that believe that the gods of old are going to return sometime, whether that be
Mhm.
Thor and other ancient Egyptian gods or every single last god is going to return to Earth at some point, which would be
Mhm.
absolutely insane. Especially if we find out later on that like so I saw an interesting fact. Apparently in God years, 1,000
Mhm.
years is a day,
Mhm.
apparently. Um
Yep.
well it's been 2,000 years since like the beginning of man to Jesus, and then 2,000 more years Jesus to now, or
Mhm.
something like that. It's something
Yep.
like that. But basically, like we're on the precipice of when he's supposed to return. Apparently,
Yep.
like everybody is like talking about it. They're like, "This is actually kind of crazy. If
Mhm.
there's truth behind this, he should return in possibly in our lifetime," which would be really crazy to think about.
Right.
But that's what I've heard. So, like, if all of these things are real, when the day of reckoning comes, don't you think all of them will come? Like I feel like all of them will return, and I feel like a lot of them might cause a lot of them might not be gods. They might be demons or angels that return, which
So
I don't know.
when I was watching a movie, like those type of movies where one of the actors is holding the like a camera.
Yeah,
Well, I was watching this movie called Jerusalem, right? And there was this girl who had these smart glasses on, and those were the camera. And
right.
she went to Jerusalem with her friend, and they met this y- young guy who basically was trying to do a like an article about something that happened there back in like the old days around like the 80s or 70s or something around there.
Yeah,
And um what they didn't know was that the guy found out that Jerusalem has a gate to hell. And they were in the end times. And in one of the scenes, it shows on her glasses a giant, like 100 meters high.
right.
So I was like, oh, so uh they're basically saying that not only will demons and angels will come, so will giants.
Man, that would
So I
be
thought that was
crazy.
pretty cool. Yeah.
That would be absolutely insane. Could you imagine waking up one day and there's just giants walking around outside, and they've got like
It
huge
would be
spears and buddy. Oh my goodness.
It would be
That'd
Attack on Titan for me.
Attack on Titan. Oh my god. Yeah, that'd be crazy. All right, guys. Well, I've got some stuff tonight. It's because I came prepared. I came the storm, man. Hopefully, don't kick us offline. The storm.
Giants
Right.
were a fact. They did exist.
Started.
What we are missing are the bones of giants.
There's our giant human being.
Try and put myself here for reference.
It actually looks pretty cool.
Deep in the wilderness, explorers stumbled upon an ancient cave historically known as the Lovelock Cave, and what they found inside was beyond belief. Scattered across the ground were skeletons, but not just any skeletons, giant ones. This perfectly links to the myths about giants roaming the earth centuries ago. Could these bones be the proof that the giants were real? What else have explorers discovered? Join us as we reveal the giant found in a cave and several other disturbing discoveries. Himalayan Yeti. While hiking in Nepal's Himalayas, a couple's camera caught a massive black furred figure walking through the snow. Some dismissed it as a person in a suit, but in such extreme cold, that seemed unlikely. Cryptid enthusiasts insist it was a Yeti, an ancient legend briefly stepping into reality.
I mean, it could be. It could. Who knows?
Well, minus the Yeti. It's the
Yeah.
giant bones, man.
Right.
Giant bones are what I'm worried about. That's pretty cool. Did you know that the Smithsonian has been accused of stealing bones and basically hiding them and or getting rid of them?
Yep. I do.
So you know that like we have record of femur bones that are gigantic that came from humans. And tallest man to ever live, his skeleton is actually on display in Philadelphia next to the world's smallest person to ever live. It looks pretty cool. I believe the world's tallest man that his skeleton was around like 8'9". It was like 8'9". So Goliath was apparently 9'9".
Right.
So take that into perspective, okay? I think anybody that's over 7 foot, man, that's a giant. If you're over 7 foot, you probably have gigantic blood. Like you probably have giant blood and
Most definitely.
blood. Your blood's just
I
huge.
mean, I'll give an example, like the Great Khali, right? He was in the movie The Longest Yard. He's also that.
He's huge.
Yeah, he's 7'3" or 4.
Him and Big Show, man. I've seen him and Big Show stand next to each other, and I'm like, holy crap, these are huge.
And then Glenn Jacobs, right? The Knox County mayor, who used to be Kane, the pro wrestler. He's 7 foot tall.
Bro, a lot of those pro wrestlers, man, I think they have blood that directly relates to giant. I believe a lot of these people do.
You can't forget about Andre the Giant.
Yeah, no, I know. Andre the Giant was gigantic too. They're all huge, man.
Giants found in stasis and Utah caves.
A giant pharaoh in stasis was found in a cave in the desert Southwest. Since I've been on talk radio for 25 plus years as a host and interviewing some interesting people, one of the things that's afforded me is the ability to have people who've seen this stuff that everybody else says are crazy to contact me. Now, the red-haired giant king and queen that were in stasis were found in an unknown Utah cave. The presence of giants in the caves of southern Utah and the desert Southwest are so numerous that you can't turn anywhere to the east, west, north, or south and not encounter somebody that knows not only the myths and legends, but has seen.
Giants in Utah. And I'm the one who found that
Giants in
video.
Giants in Utah. Craziness in Utah. In Utah, we got raptors and we got giants. No, man, that's insane. Gigantic
Right.
people in Utah. In caves, in stasis. Like, does that mean the giants are frozen? They're just frozen in time?
Probably.
Waiting to wake
Yeah.
up?
The Smithsonian has tons of them. They had a cave in North America where they found like a whole colony of red-haired giants, and that back in Native American lore, I guess, they told about this story of like surrounding this cave with these giants that would come out and attack these Native Americans, and the Native Americans figured out a way to trap them in the cave and kill them.
Wow.
They found the bones in the cave. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying like, I'm not talking about giants like 7 foot. I'm talking about like 8, 9 foot, huge giants.
Right.
And that sounds so magical and mythical, but there's actual accounts and skeletons of it.
Yeah.
And that's what Nephilim are.
And that's what the Nephilim are.
Mm-hmm.
At the end there. Crazy, man. Like, dude, I want to see these bones. I need the Smithsonian to open up its basement and release the bones.
Right.
Please, let's, guys. Like, we're not going to freak out if we know that giants exist. It's just, I mean, we've already been told in the Bible. We've also seen them. So, like, come on, guys. Come on.
Why are you so tall?
So, I was a huge baby, 60 centimeters. 17 years old, I was 2 meter 10, and 19 years old, 2 meter 18. They did a lot of doctor research on me, even looking into my DNA, giantism. But I don't have the characteristics like the jaw or the big ears or the big fingers, and I'm all in proportions. They said the conclusion at the end is I have 0 of the DNA deficiencies or whatever, and they called me a natural giant. So I'm really fortunate that I'm a healthy, normal giant.
Yeah, the doctor said the same thing about me.
That's funny.
That dude is over 8 foot tall.
Watch till
If you
end.
needed further proof that we live on the remains of a much larger past, and that geology is nothing more than hardened biology, let's take a look at where a trendy and popular ingredient you might have in your cabinet came from: Himalayan salt. You tell me what these caves look like. Let's take a look at some of that salt taken out of these mines and collected into a pile. Now, do those not look like slabs of meat or what? Here's a closer picture of one. How about now? If pork ribs aren't your cut of choice, don't worry. There's many other cuts to choose from here. In the right conditions, after a great flood-like event, buried and covered in sediment, these petrified beings became the new mountains and hillsides of this realm. If you aren't convinced, let's do a few more side-by-sides. You got rock and meat. One of my favorites, you got bacon, and you got bacon rock. History is nothing more than a set of lies agreed upon, and the same goes for most all of academia. The truth is in the hillsides and in the mountains, hidden in plain sight. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
How do you feel about Himalayan salt now?
Mm. Mm-mm-mm.
I think it might be eating giants, man.
Right?
See? The Himalayan salt mines look like giant muscle structures.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what the heck? It didn't upload all my videos.
Hmm.
Oh well.
These giant men, 8 to 15 feet tall, red hair, would come and just eat the Japanese soldiers, rip them apart. Apparently, there's rich history of giants regarding the Solomon Islands. Vietnam started taking over the Solomon Islands to cut off trades with Australia and stuff. So they get to the Solomon Islands, and then the U.S. came. So they were coming in thinking that it was going to be like a D-Day kind of thing, where they're going to have to fight, and there was no Japanese to be seen. No resistance. They just pulled up to the beach, like, where are all the Japanese?
So I know you were talking about the Solomon Islands. Yeah.
Yep.
There's some more information on your Solomon Island giants.
Claro, y hay una cara de... Y qué raro, está como con la boca chueca, ¿no? No me había dado cuenta yo de eso.
Es que la otra vez aquí nos quedamos para descansar un poco y de ahí estábamos observando acá y de ahí vimos eso acá y decimos, sí, parece una cara. Ahí nos acercamos acá, vemos ese hueco y digo, sí ha sido.
That is weird. What do you make of that?
That's
Like,
something.
Do you think somebody carved that in there? Like took the time to actually chisel that out into the giant's head?
Mm-mm.
Or do you think that was a giant that was looking out a window or trying to get out when it got petrified, turned to stone?
I think the second one, yeah. Because
It's crazy to think about giants getting
yeah,
petrified.
it is. Like, with everything going on like that, I'm like, oh shit. It's crazy to think about.
It is very crazy to think about.
Was a living creature at one time, and I can tell because of the chemistry of the blood and the colors of the blood and the texture of the materials and the different kaolin clays and ferrous oxides. I have done extremely deep research on this. I understand the chemistry, I understand how the body petrifies literally in mud fossils. This I did not understand, how this could possibly happen. However, now I finally have come to an understanding, and I will show you. And this was because the only reason this research is able to continue is because people are open-minded enough to send information about this to me, and it's coming in copious quantities, and I will put it out there. And go through it chemically and analyze it, and then I'm perfectly willing to be confronted by anyone in the entire world. And this is what my request was. Yale refuses, Harvard refuses, my own professor at Johns Hopkins refused. Everyone refuses because they know they cannot stand up to this evidence. Okay, this is from my very good friend Tracy Alnasane. And this is about Ovid's Metamorphosis, and this is about the story of how the earth was created and all this business. And it goes on about all of the early creatures. Now, Ovid writes this. Listen to this. Now, I've found the creatures are statuized, and they're in poses that are just like they're just standing there with looks on their face that are just amazing, and in positions that are
So yeah, he's talking about
now listen to this, though.
petrified animals. Petrified.
They all deserve the punishment they suffered.
Right.
Except one of Perseus's warriors. While he was fighting on his side, Acontius saw that Gorgon's head and took the shape of hardened stone. Once they looked at the Gorgon's head, they turned it to hardened stone. Astyges struck him with his long sword, thinking he was still alive, and the blade gave a high-pitched ringing noise. While Aeschylus stood there, amazed that the same power transformed him, and he remained there with a wondering look on his marble face. This is it, man. It's amazing. This is all written, and it's true.
And because he hit it,
this just blows my mind. It would take a long time to tell the names of the middle ranks of men. 200 bodies survived the fight. 200 bodies were turned to stone at the sight of the Gorgonist head. And then it goes on and it says, now at last Phineas regrets the unjust fight, but what can he do? And it goes, but this is my point. This is, what can I say? You just saw what I saw. It's what I saw. And it looks to me like it's saying these are why these guys turned into stone. Now, I have videos on all this stuff, and here is the Colossus over here. And by the way, there's a new human species we discovered. Tish Egerton found it out in Missouri. Well, I found one earlier, a long time ago, but she found one that was this one here, eroded, that gave me a lot more detail. Anyway, the Colossus is here, and I show about this strange weathering pattern there, and then we go into the Colossus. And the Colossus shows all of the I'm showing, this is videos I have on all of these. And you're going to have to go and look at this, but if you look at it carefully, you can see there's just virtually no way that this thing could have been made. And this is the exact same texture and thing that happens with skin as it erodes. And I show skin, and I show the erosion of it, and I show the spots and how blood transfers through it. Everything I do is, you see this here, look. You see this is how flesh turns. You see the spots? You see the spots on the guy's leg? I have all this stuff down. And I do the DNA and well, I send them off to labs, but I've done 3 DNA tests and they've been sequenced. They're all mitochondrial DNA. I've done the 70 CAT scans on industrial CAT scanners, and they've been all verified by an autopsy.
But if he's doing DNA on these,
you see, I'm showing this. That's a fingertip, which is eroded. But I have all of these seasons. Some of them have been CAT scanned by equipment that scans.
He should be wearing gloves right now.
I'm going to bring up a point right now because this is an issue that I've been having with some guy that is he's a flat Earth guy. He has no clue what he's doing whatsoever. Absolutely no ability of anything that I can determine. And he's out making all these insane claims. It's a guy called Wise Up, and he's got he's got mud fossils linked to his channel somehow. He's a flat Earth guy. He doesn't believe dinosaurs, and he's extremely arrogant and very, very vile guy. So, and I think the academics figured out a way to link mud fossils to him, so everybody will think it's crazy. Because he is literally insane as far as I'm concerned. It's in my opinion of him. He's a vile, nasty, insane person. And he thinks the Earth's flat and there's no dinosaurs. Nothing goes above 120,000 feet. He says the terracotta soldiers are made out of wood. He's just lost. He thinks metal turns into stone. Very, very strange guy. So this is my problem. He's got me linked there somehow. You see, I got 855 views, 3,500 views. He's got 200-something thousand views, 280,000 on some of it. Just everything he puts up. These flat Earth people think he's a hero. So, and I don't care. Anybody think anything they want, but don't mix me up with that guy whatsoever. My research is chemistry.
That guy really
I'm a real researcher. And so go to Mud Fossil University. And if you want to go watch his stuff, that's fine, if you like fantasy. Anyway, that's it. Goodbye.
Bro,
he really hates that flat Earth. I might as well go look him up and fuck with him about flat Earth.
Yeah, you need to. You need to go. So and so sent me to talk to you about flat Earth. They said that you really believe and that you need some extra insight and input on flat Earth. Because that man sounded very upset when it comes to flat Earth.
Mm-hmm.
You and him would not get along.
No.
Julie's like, oh wow, I know, right? He went off, Julie. That guy went off. He went off.
Bro. Bruh. What is that, bruh? I need answers, man. They said that this is real right here, man. All these giant videos is coming out. There's more than this, man. This giant is over here. This giant is over here having a good workout. You know what I mean? Hitting his reps and all that. You know what I'm saying? Probably a good 20 feet. Hitting push-ups on the top of the hill. Like this, like he's ready for war. He is ready for war. But this Nephilim situation, man, a lot of people out there don't want to believe in God, man. Like it's all fun and games, but at the end of the day, man, people got to start repenting. But this right here, bro, this right here look like he ready for war, and we about to get into it, man. We about to get into it, man, because there's people in the army in 2022, right, said that they found somebody in a cave somewhere, and it wound up being one of these guys right here, right? This is scary, bro. Look at him. He hitting push-ups. He's not even out of breath. He is, man. If I went walking up that hill and I saw that, I'm dead, bro. I'm dying instantly. I do this for educational and entertaining purposes only. If I saw him, he wouldn't even have to put his hands on me. I'm dropping dead. I'm losing breath. Heart stopping, falling to the ground, bro. This is insane. But let's get into it. Hey, yo, what up, man? We're going to play this audio real fast, man. Like, they saying that this is what the giant actually looked like. You know what I mean? Let's get into it.
This is the only real giant witnessed by humans. During the height of the Operation Enduring Freedom in 2002, an unusual incident occurred. A rescue crew was dispatched to investigate the vanishing of a group of troops. The squad discovered the cave with army equipment spread about, but no evidence of the missing troops. That's when they came upon the Kandahar Giant. The Kandahar Giant was 13 feet tall, with blazing red hair, 6 fingers, and 2 sets of fangs. It even murdered one of the Special Forces guys with a spear before being taken down by the remainder of the team with 30 seconds of relentless firing. After they radioed it in, the army took the corpse and has kept it buried ever since. The soldiers were ordered to sign non-disclosure agreements in order for the government to keep everyone silent. However, the troops ultimately broke their silence because, as one of the guys subsequently stated, people have a right to know the truth. This is
people, and we do, right? But you know, we shouldn't be so nosy, man. You know what I'm saying? Us as humans, and you know, the government be sending people on dummy missions, and then this is what happens. Because I strongly believe that Nephilim giants was here, bro. It's proven facts that snakes. They have snakes and sharks. I forget the megalodon, or however you say that. And there's a snake. I forget the name of that, man. Dinosaurs, I don't believe in that. I believe the alligators and certain other animals that are still here were just bigger back then too. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? I believe what's in the Bible. But this is crazy, bro. Tell me if y'all think that video was real, of that giant hitting them push-ups. And tell me what y'all think about this story right here in the comments, man. This is crazy, bro. It's getting spooky out here, y'all. Hit the like button. Make sure y'all follow me here for more, man. Salute.
See, if the camera wasn't moving so much, and that thing in on the mountain didn't look as CGI, I'd believe it more.
Well, see, the thing is they were far away, and who knows when the video was shot. And you know what? Like, yes, you can claim AI. That's fine. I don't know. AI, anything look real at this point? Like, that's just how.
Well, I'm not saying AI. I'm saying CGI.
No, I know what you're saying. Computer generated art or computer generated information. And like, I get you. But I mean, I'm not going to say a real video, but I'm going to say from the look of the video and the graininess of it means the person was was standing up and videotaping and had to zoom in and was zoomed too much so that the camera was moving a lot. They had to try to stabilize their hands. And I mean, if you look at it again, like let's take one more look at this thing. And we're not gonna watch the whole video again, just the just the giant and the push ups.
Bruh, what is that, bruh? I need answers, man. They said that this is real right here, man. All these giant videos is coming out. There's more than this, man. This giant is over here. This giant is over here having a good workout. You know what I mean? Hitting his reps and all that. You know what I'm saying? Probably.
It also looks like
Okay,
it's in a
so
loop. That part of that video is in a loop as well. It looks like.
it look like that, but I don't know. The thing that bothers me in the video isn't the appearance of possibly a loop. The thing that bothers me in the video is if you look at hands, the giant's hands don't look right when he's doing push-ups. It looks like his two giant fingers. And I was looking at it and I was like, that doesn't look right. That looks weird. So I mean, maybe it's real, maybe it's not. It looks like it's
Right.
Look. Disappear into a magical doorway within the rock face here at the Giant's Causeway. Right, I believe we have some footage that has been taken on a mobile phone. Let's have a look at it. Look. Well, that footage is absolutely incredible, isn't it? Well, earlier today, tourists, historians, geologists, architects and giant experts all congregated here and have been examining the rock face to see if there is indeed any sign of Finn McCool, that legendary and magical giant, in that spot where he disappeared into the rock face, but absolutely no trace, it has to be said, of any doorway or hinges or anything like that. But there was the unmistakable sound of snoring coming from within the mountain. That's right, snoring from within the mountain. So it would seem possibly plausible that the legendary and mythical giant Finn McCool is indeed sleeping within the mountain here.
Well, that's so weird. They even have a name for it. It's such like the people know about it. They're like, it's a legend, but it's not. So it's weird, man. Like, and I know that quite a few videos were remade back in the day. That could be one of the ones that were remade. I don't remember. I saw a couple of the other ones. Yeah. So I don't know if it was real or not, but it's interesting anyway. It's just to see, and I've heard and seen other videos of giant doors, like, and I had videos on here, but for some reason StreamYard did not upload them. StreamYard's been doing this. Where it uploads select few of my videos, and then videos it somehow mysteriously loses. I don't understand. Anyways, there's been some crazy things, man. Like the let me see if I can pull a couple up and send them to. Let me see if I can do this. Do you know anything else about giants? Are there any stories of giants that just speak your mind?
Nope.
No, you don't have any.
Mm-mm.
Wow.
I basically said what I know about giants, man.
You don't know nothing else.
Yeah.
You ain't never seen a giant.
I've never seen a giant in my life.
No,
Unless
me
I've seen
neither.
them on TV and they're from fiction or wrestlers, but
Just
that's
not
it.
really.
Hell, even basketball players I've seen that are like huge.
Oh yeah, for sure. I got some of the things that I'm gonna upload here. Because they should have gotten uploaded, and I think I can do it for them. Where I'm at.
Mm.
It didn't want to. It didn't want to take some of the videos that I had. It didn't want to work with me here. It decided that it was just not going to let me have all my videos on there. And it's upsetting.
Right.
StreamYard needs to fix itself.
Definitely.
Especially like when they make you pay for it. Like, what the heck, man?
Hmm?
Like, fix a little bit of it, StreamYard. I know you can. I'm paying you $40 a month. Alright, and then I go to this one real quick. Okay. Alright, guys, I'm uploading them now. I figured out how to do this. Maybe.
It always has to be technology who wants to mess with us, even though we're already prepared.
Oh yeah. You gotta know how it works, my brother.
Yep. If it is not one thing, it's another thing.
When you think, oh yeah, of course. But I also think the mobile, so StreamYard on mobile just sucks. So when you try to upload from mobile, it doesn't work half the time.
Right. Heck, like yesterday, I had to restart my
She says she's
phone. Okay.
You had to restart the phone.
Yeah, I had to restart my phone
Yeah,
yesterday because
Julie says a couple hometown Ralph Sampson, a very tall guy in this store, seemed almost unbelievable how tall he was. Yeah, I've seen a couple of tall people like that too. It's crazy.
But yeah, like I said, I had to restart my
But
phone
anyway,
yesterday because it would not let me click on the stream when I was trying to do results yesterday.
yeah, that's not okay. That's bueno. Here we go, guys. This is
Mm-hmm.
the last two videos I have.
An elephant, a mama, and its baby. They were killed by whatever did this. they're frozen forever in time, and they're right in front of our faces. There's a mountain. If you turn it on the side, see their face? They like to say that this is all nature doing this, but it isn't. Whatever happened many years ago, and they changed the calendar from Julian to Gregorian. Sorry if I said that wrong, but I'm trying to hurry because I'm voicing over these pictures as you are looking at. These are all in the rocks because they're fossilized remains of giants and giant animals. Now, the world back in the day, there was more oxygen. So when you have more oxygen, things grow larger. Humans, people of all kinds, elephants, animals, insects, they were all giant size. Whatever hit them immediately, and they died just like that. And they became fossilized. And they don't want to tell you this, they're hiding it. Now I suggest you go to that other video, which I'm going to link below, and you'll see also at the end screen, because you'll know what I'm talking about. I didn't want to go through the whole spiel about how you have to wake up. You see those two?
So, what do you think about the giant, weird-looking rock formations like animals?
Interesting.
I've seen a really good one that looks like an alligator, like a giant alligator,
Right.
and like it even looks like it has scales and everything. It blows my mind every time I see the video.
Right.
Oh wow. This is just beautiful. Look at this. There's the, when you, there's the big toe and the other 4 toes down to the small toe, down to the heel. What's fascinating about this is anybody that does a study of this will notice this piece sticking out here. It's like when you put your foot in mud and you pull it out, your toes will lift up a little mud where your toes were, and that's exactly what seems to have happened here. This rough granite is just, it's pulled up. This overhang here, it's spectacular. And I see that people have been visiting here because they've been leaving little coins here, which is wonderful. Maybe just come closer and show this from more close up. Okay. Well, I don't know who else has filmed this, but I think we'll put this up for everybody to see, for everyone to really appreciate this is a spectacular bit of human history. There were giants on Earth.
That's pretty cool.
Giant footprints, my guy.
Yep.
Pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Giants of it's an interesting subject of mine. I remember being younger, way before AI was a thing. And I remember a buddy showing me a video of giant on top of a mountain, basically walking up the mountain like it was no problem. And a guy like me or you, it took us hours to scale a mountain, whereas this thing literally just walking up the side of the mountain, taking it no time at all, taking great time. And I'm watching this thing, and I was like, "That is a huge person," and that is all I could comprehend. It's just like if that's a person, that person's huge. I remember thinking that repetitively. But yeah, no, I remember seeing all different posts about giants way before AI was a thing, and I didn't know that there were so many mentionings of the Anunnaki and the Nephilim in the Bible. I think that's really cool.
Oh yeah. The Book of the
And
Giants. I did find something informational about the Book of Giants.
okay,
They were found within the Dead Sea Scrolls.
okay, and what they say?
Well, okay, so when I was on TikTok, right? And th- they were ripped up scrolls, right? A ripped up scroll called the Book of Giants, and they look so cool. Like they they said this was found within the Dead Sea Scrolls, and it's like, oh, that's new information I did not know.
Right. That's
So
interesting.
technically, the Book of Giants would be part of the original 5 books. So the original
Well,
6, it would be one of the 6.
apparently there were quite a few books that were removed from the Bible, but we'll never really know until the Vatican releases them,
Right.
which probably won't ever happen
But at least I got to
unless
see
they're
what they
forced
looked
to.
like. I at least I got to see what the Book of Giants looked like. It was a ripped up article. I think I sent you the video.
You probably did. Um, when it comes to like giants, man, or like the Book of Giants in general, how do we know that that's like legitimate though? Like, how do we know that that's not just some story?
Look it up on in the
I'm
mess.
going to it right.
Okay, because it had me like thinking hard.
Let me see. Got it right here. Now I gotta do this again real quick, guys. Sorry. Oh, technology. You gotta love it.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you hate it. There's no in between.
Exactly. It's either you love it or you hate it or you just don't care for it.
Pretty much. It's still loading, guys. Sorry.
You want to know something funny though? This is so off topic, but this is funny. I had people
What?
like,
What's
okay,
up?
so all right, so I was booking doing the booking card, working on the next CW fatality card, and I got people in my inbox asking me if it's legit
Right.
because I put some comedy
If what?
in there.
Oh,
I did a tag team match where the tag team champions were facing this country boy and his chicken. That's right. And the tag team, one of the tag team guys was like, "Are you for real?" I was like, "Yes."
You're fighting a giant chicken like Peter Griffin. Get over it. That's the way to do it. You're gonna fight giant chickens.
Giants and monsters. They begot, and behold, all the earth was corrupted. Through this we can come to the conclusion that these fallen angels were breeding with animals, and their offspring would be half animal and half fallen angel and very large in size. This reality would make sense with all the ancient depictions of monsters and creatures. Maybe those creatures weren't figments of their imagination, but actual half-human, half-fallen angel monsters roaming the earth. These beings maybe could have even held the capacity to think and reason just like the giants could. We know that giants had the capability to hold conversations because of the account of Goliath challenging and enticing the armies of Israel in 1 Samuel 17, 8-10. A fragment of the Book of Giants also confirms some of these monsters having the ability to reason and communicate, when some of the giants had dreams of their destruction and shared these dreams with the monsters. Fragment 4Q530, column 2. Thereupon 2 of them had dreams, and the sleep of their eyes fled from them, and they arose and came to, and told their dreams, and said in the assembly of their comrades, the monsters. These monsters didn't hold the same connection to the fallen angels as the giants. The Book of Giants and the Book of Enoch describes the fallen angels' close connection to their children, the giants. Whereas these monsters were their offspring, they weren't cared for as deeply by the fallen angels as the giants were. Here's a verse from the Book of Enoch. And inasmuch as they, the watchers, delight themselves in their children, the giants, the murder of their beloved ones shall they see, and over the destruction of their children shall they lament, and shall make supplication unto eternity. The Book of Giants, fragment 4Q530, fragment 7. The children of angels are the giants, and they would not let their loved ones be neglected. All throughout the Book of Giants, the giant children offspring of the fallen angels and humankind were having ominous dreams of their destruction. One of the giants has a dream of a tablet with many names submerged under water, and when lifted from the water only 3 names remained. This dream symbolizes the destruction of all the unpure fallen life forms on the earth through the flood of Noah. The great flood of Noah now makes sense. Noah, his family, and the animals that were brought onto the ark were brought on not because of their righteousness, but because the rest of creation had been corrupted by the fallen angels and their genetic manipulations.
Interesting.
Yep.
Interesting. I didn't know a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's disturbing that they would breed with animals.
Right.
That makes me feel so like that.
And I did say that earlier too.
Yeah, you did. But anyways, guys, that's going to be our tonight about giants. It was fun hanging out with y'all and learning about biblical giants, and also learning about these other stories of giants, the crew, and that these people on TikTok knew. We'll probably do another episode about giants just because there's so much to talk about. Crew needs to do a little bit more research. But other than that, we'll have more to talk about a little bit later. But anyways, guys, we all hope that you have a great night here from Robert and crew. Much love to you guys. Peace out. Have a good night. We love you.
If you don't like boring news but still crave the truth, then dive into The Robert and Crew Show. From mind-bending conspiracy theories to wild weather phenomena, we've got it all. Ever wondered what's really happening in your hometown, or what secrets the global news isn't telling you? We dig deep into the core of every story, unraveling the mysteries one podcast at a time. Join Robert and the crew as we navigate this vibrant, ever-changing cyberpunk landscape, bringing you interviews with the most intriguing minds out there. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, a news junkie or a weather enthusiast, there's something here for you. So strap in, listeners. because we're about to take you on a ride through the neon-lit alleys of truth and intrigue. This is the Robert and Crew Show, where the future meets the fantastic.